As a permanent resident, I enjoyed most of the benefits of a Canadian citizen. I mean, I had access to grants, healthcare, government funding, and the likes. Today, I'm a Canadian citizen, and most people have asked me, what really is the difference? What is the actual benefit of trading your PR status for Canadian citizenship? That's why today I'll be telling you from a personal standpoint the differences, or should I say the advantages and benefits of being a Canadian citizen. I'll also be talking about some disadvantages I see in it too. So stay tuned. About 2 months ago, myself and my wife became citizens of this great country, and it was one of the best days since our arrival in this country. The feeling was amazing, from taking the oath to singing the Canadian anthem for the very first time and having a personalized message from Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Today, you will take your oath of citizenship. It's an honor to be here to welcome you into our Canadian family.
We were just filled with so much joy and so much gratitude. We had dropped off our daughter that day in daycare, so we were at the ceremony by ourselves, no disturbance. We weren't allowed to do any recordings of the ceremony except for the part where we were asked to cut our PR cards into pieces. That's a sign that you're no longer a permanent resident. I think it's a ritual. It's something everyone is going to do. But I asked for permission from the kind man who signed us in, and he gladly allowed us. So I was lucky to be able to get a video of that important moment. Because the ceremony was virtual, we had the opportunity to take photos at the end with the officiating judge just by standing by our TV and putting the camera on timer mode. So before I go further, my name is Toby. I'm a Nigerian Canadian based in the city of Calgary. I love to make videos like this talking about life in Canada and what I've experienced so far in my years of living here. If you're interested in these kind of topics, if you will be coming to Canada anytime in the future, I ask that you please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the videos I make. Thank you. When I posted about becoming a citizen, I got a lot of questions from different people. People were asking, how come you became a citizen so fast? Did you do anything special? I thought citizenship takes 5 years. Do you have to change from PR to citizen? So many questions. People ask me all sorts of questions. Well, as most of you know, I came to Canada with my wife in January of 2020, just before the pandemic. We landed as permanent residents at Toronto Pearson Airport, and we took our connecting flights that brought us to Calgary, which is where we now call home. To become a citizen of Canada, you must have lived as a permanent resident in Canada for 1,095 days within a period of 5 years leading up to the date which you apply. 1,095 days is 3 years. So you must have stayed in Canada for 3 years. So let's say you landed in Canada on the 1st of January of 2023 this year as a permanent resident. You'll be eligible to be a citizen on January 2nd of 2026 as long as you stayed in Canada all that time and you filed your taxes. But if you traveled during that period or did vacations outside Canada within those 3 years, between 2023 and 2026, depending on how many days you use outside, you will need to wait longer to be eligible. In other words, those 1,095 days must be complete for you to be eligible. There is something called a fiscal presence calculator that will be used to determine how long you have stayed in Canada and if you're eligible to apply to become a citizen. As soon as we became eligible in January of this year, since we had not left Canada since we arrived, we applied immediately to become citizens. The application is a bit stressful. You have to present different documents to back up your application, and we applied on paper, myself and my wife, since my daughter was born here and she's already a citizen. I believe we paid about $1,300 because it costs $630 per person for citizenship application. Then you have to pay at the post office to send the documents to Sydney, Nova Scotia. That's where the processing office is. This application can be done online, but from the information we got from those who had done before us, they advised that paper application was better for family as it guarantees that we all have the same ceremony date. So we didn't want one person to have a date that will be separate from the other person. 2 months after we sent in our documents, we got an email saying they had been received and processing had begun. Another 2 months passed and we were asked to write the citizenship test. The citizenship test is a mandatory test for everyone applying to become Canadian citizens. They test your knowledge on how well you know Canada and the history of the country and its provinces. I mean, how can you call yourself Canadian if you don't know who the first Prime Minister was, or if you've never heard the name Terry Fox? So this is what the knowledge test is all about, making sure that you're fully aware of the Canadian history. It was so hard finding time to read the study guide. They provide you with a study guide that contains all the information you need. But thankfully, there were YouTube videos and other other resources that helped us to study quite well. So we were well prepared. We both wrote the test on the same day, one night after we took our daughter to bed. And during the tests, once you start, you're not allowed to speak to yourselves or to look left or right. You're not even allowed to open any tabs or use your phone. They ask you to turn on the camera on your computer. So I believe what they do is they make a recording of your body movement just to make sure you're not cheating in any way. I think I had 20/20 and my wife had 18/20, something like that. It's actually quite easy if you study the guide that was provided. 2 weeks after writing the test, we got a confirmation saying we passed, and a few weeks later, we got an email inviting us for the ceremony and giving us steps on what to do next. So for us, the whole process took about 6 months, and I know for some other people it took way longer. I don't know, during the COVID period there was a lot of delay, so people were waiting like 1 whole year. People were waiting more than a year to have their ceremony done and stuff. But for us it was quite quick. It was just 6 months and then we were done with everything. So what are the advantages of being a Canadian citizen? The first advantage for me being a Canadian citizen is that now I can vote. I do not take this privilege for granted in any way. I am a Nigerian and I can tell you for sure that as a Yoruba man, there are places even within my own country, Nigeria, where I have no say in whoever becomes whatever in the world of politics. Canada grants me that privilege. I can partake in the process of selecting leaders municipally, provincially, or federally. Now, the second advantage of being a Canadian citizen is not only that I can vote, but now I can run for office if I choose. As in, I can become premier, I can become prime minister if I choose, if people vote for if people vote for me. But I guess you guys understand what I mean. Like, Canada grants me that privilege to be able to run for office as an immigrant who became a citizen, and I think that is very huge. There is a great lawyer and politician here in Alberta, Mr. Kelechi Kesemadu. I'm sure most people would know him. As an Igbo man, I can bet that this man can't even run for office in Lagos State because of our problems with ethnicity in Nigeria. I'm sure you guys knew what happened in the last election. But here in Alberta, he has held so many positions. He has been Minister of Municipal Affairs, Minister of Justice, Minister of Labour and Immigration, Minister of Skilled Trades and Profession, and he has also been Deputy Premier of Alberta. You can imagine that. And this is a Nigerian just like you and I. He is a man that was born in Nigeria, an Igbo man. In fact, he's schooled in Unilag. So this is the opportunity and the privilege that Canada gives people who come from outside, who come in here to become citizens and to grow the economy. You have this privilege and this opportunity to blend in, and nobody is going to discriminate against you. The third advantage of being a Canadian citizen now is I can obtain a Canadian passport and I can travel freely. I've waited so long for this time in my life. You guys have no idea. Now I can go almost anywhere for vacation. Now money remain. May God just provide money. If I were to go somewhere today, I think it will be Japan or maybe Spain or Italy. Those days of applying for US and UK visas, those days are over. Those days of getting scared going to the US embassy, all those things are behind. Now, if I ever want to go to Europe, I won't even bother myself about anything called Schengen visa. The Canadian passport is one of the strongest passports in the world, and it opens so many opportunities for the passport holder. The fourth advantage for me is my children will be Canadian citizens regardless of where they are born. So as permanent residents, when we gave birth to our daughter, she was automatically a Canadian citizen. If you're a PR, you come here, you give birth to a child, that child is a citizen automatically. But if we had traveled to Nigeria or any other country to give birth to her, even though we're permanent residents of Canada, she wouldn't be a citizen that easily. We would need to sponsor her to become a citizen or to become a PR first before becoming a citizen. But now as citizens, if I leave Canada today and I go to any other country with my wife and we choose to, if you like, let it be Russia, let it be Iraq, let it be Saudi Arabia, anywhere we give birth to a child now, even if it's outside Canada, that child is automatically a Canadian citizen because we are citizens. The fifth advantage of being a Canadian citizen is now I can live anywhere in the world as long as I like it there. And I won't lose my citizenship status. Many people get their Canadian citizenship and leave Canada immediately because many people are here just to get that status to become citizens. It's not, they hate the cold so much. So people get the Canadian citizenship and then they move to countries that are not so cold. Some move to countries that will pay them more in their field or industry. My colleague told me a friend of his worked in the UAE for a while, made little money, then moved to Canada. He got his Canadian citizenship after some years and then he moved back to Dubai to get a job that paid him way more than he got paid there before. So sometimes it opens opportunities for you. You know, if I come to Nigeria now to work in Nigeria in some industries, I'll get paid for my experience and I'll get paid as a Canadian because I'm coming with this kind of experience and I'm coming with a different status. Now I'm no more coming as just a Nigerian. But personally, I don't know if I want to leave Canada just yet. I feel like I'm still in the building phase of my life. Myself and my family, we're still trying to find our footing. So maybe in the future we'll see, who knows. Well, anyways, for me, those are the advantages of being a Canadian citizen. A permanent residency status would not give me all these things I just listed. The first disadvantage I see for now is the fact that some countries don't allow dual citizenship. So if you be getting Canadian citizenship, maybe you're from Democratic Republic of Congo, from Tanzania, from Ethiopia, or any of those countries in Africa that do not allow dual citizenship, you may lose your status in your home country the moment you accept to be a citizen of Canada. So it's always good to check with your country and make sure that you getting a citizenship in Canada does not mean the end of your citizenship in your home country. I know for sure that Nigeria is good at us having dual nationalities, so thank God for that. The second disadvantage is that as a Nigerian that I am now, I can't go back home to run for office of president. So if you have dreams of becoming president of Nigeria sometime in the future, that dream dies the day you accept to be a citizen of Canada. I'm sure many people won't mind, but you never know. You know, you might just dabble into politics later in the future in your life. You never know. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching today's video till the end. I hope you learned a thing or two from my journey. I'll appreciate if you support this channel by subscribing. And if you're not in the mood to subscribe today, that's okay. You can just give a thumbs up or drop a comment to encourage me to do more videos in the future. You know what I mean? Thank you so much. It's almost winter again in Canada and you can see it's already getting so cold. You see I'm putting on my sweater already in the house. It's that time of the year and I can't wait to take you guys around in the snow to show you guys around. It's always so beautiful. But before it's winter, we'll get to fall. Fall is usually very short. So in a few days now, it's going to be fall. All the trees are going to be yellow and then the leaves will start to fall and then we'll start to see snow little by little. So it's exciting times ahead. I'm really excited and I can't wait to show you guys around how beautiful the city looks in the fall and in the winter, how white everything looks. So thank you again for watching my video, and until I see you guys again next time, don't forget to stay safe always, be good, and see you. Take care. Bye.